Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3000 Songs of the Rock Era. I'm up to song number 2134 today, and that one is Over My Head by Fleetwood Mac. One came out in 1976, or less stuff when it peaked on the charts. Went to number 20. Anyway, here's a picture of the single. It was also released on the 1976 multi-platinum album called Fleetwood Mac. Really big album of theirs, especially in the USA. Yeah, and here's a picture of Fleetwood Mac around the time they recorded it. I guess I'll start by featuring a sample of the song and reacting to it. So here it goes. Just gonna cut that single deck. Anyway.
You can take me to paradise, and then again you can be cold as ice. I'm over my head, oh, but it sure feels nice. You can take me anytime you like. I'll be around if you think you might love me, baby. And hold me tight. Your mood is like a circus wheel. You're changing all the time. Sometimes I can't help but feel that I'm wasting all of my time.
Okay, that was a sample of Over My Head by Fleetwood Mac, which I think is a really good song of theirs. I don't know, maybe I put this one a little too low, I'm not sure. I got plenty of songs by Fleetwood Mac on my list. I think I already featured a couple of them. Yeah, and you guys probably know about Fleetwood Mac. They were probably one of the biggest groups of the 70s, which picture here. Actually saw him in concert once. I saw him at this big concert in San Francisco called the Day of the Green. And kind of looked like I'm going to go to the cover folder. Yeah, it kind of looked like this a little bit. It was actually, I think, yeah, it was a Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and it was like 50,000 people, and it was almost impossible to get out of the town. It was actually the first rock concert I ever went to in my life. I think the spring of '77. They were the last group to play. Like four groups that played. And we only listened about half of Fleetwood Mac because the people really wanted to get out. Or the roads got too crowded. They were too crowded anyway. But I liked listening to what I heard of Fleetwood Mac at this concert. I did hear this song. Um, yeah, and what can I say about the song "Over My Head"? It was written by Christine McVie. I guess she was their keyboard player. I'd say, and she also sang lead on it. Seems like about half of the songs, half the hit songs by Fleetwood Mac were sung lead by her. The other half, most of them by Stevie Nicks. I guess Lindsey Buckingham sang lead on a few of them, like "Go Your Own Way" and "Monday Morning." But it was really mostly Christine McVie and Stevie Nicks who sang lead. And the song, in case you're interested to know what the inspiration of the song was, it turns out that Christine McVie and Lindsey Buckingham, I guess they had a relationship for a while early on in the career of Fleetwood Mac, and it's kind of about their romantic relationship, which was up and down. When you sing, you can take me to paradise, but then again, you can be cold as ice, and their love is like a circus wheel changing all the time. I think that's pretty common. I think a lot of relationships are like that. But you kind of have to take the good with the bad. I think that's kind of what she was singing about in this song. But I think it's a good song, good kind of realistic song of romantic relationship. I guess that's all I really have to say. Oh, the other thing is we're a couple covers. I think they had the only hit version, but I was a little bit surprised to learn this. I'll go back to the single picture. It was also covered by, of all people, Bernadette Peters in 1980s. I don't have a picture of her here, but I think you guys are probably all familiar with her. She was a pretty famous movie actress in the late 70s. She was in several big movies. I guess she had a cover of this song. I think it sounded a lot different. And then it was also covered in 2012 by a group called C and B's. I've never heard of that before, but it was featured on one of their albums. And I guess that's everything I have to say about this song Over My Head. And like I said, I already featured a couple songs by Fleetwood Mac, so I don't think I have too much else to say about them, other than that they were probably one of the biggest groups of the 70s. I mean, you know, they had a couple really huge albums, including the album this song was featured on Fleetwood Mac. That was kind of their breakthrough album in the United States. Multi-platinum in the USA. I think it sold something like 9 million copies. Pretty insane. And then, they followed that up with an even bigger album called Rumors, which my sister and I used to own. That one had most of the really big hits on it. That was the number one for most of the year 1977. Huge album. So they were really, really huge groups, as I'm sure you guys all know. And, Over My Head was kind of the breakthrough hit in America. I mean, it was the first top 40 hit. They only had one other Hot 100 hit before that, and that was Oh Well in 1969. That only went to number 55. And it's the same Oh Well I'm thinking of. It was written by Al Green, and was also covered by a kind of new wave group in '79 called the Rockets. But anyway, Fleetwood Mac went on to have many, many more hits after this one. So I think that pretty much says everything I have to say about Over My Head. So anyway, thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.